Hello, VWS world. Hello, hello. I'm Jenny. Okay, I see so many faces here today. Welcome to VWS Connect. This is the world's very first virtual networking series dedicated exclusively to the future of food. I'm so excited to have so many people joining today. Right now, we have people that are joining from, you ready for this? 42 different countries. 42. Absolutely wild. I'd love to hear where you're joining from. I can see everyone there in the chat sharing. We've got Mount Shasta, we've got Kansas, we've got Singapore. It's got to be really late for some of you. So you must be very determined to get into the space. We're super excited to have you. So the first thing that I'm going to do right now is, everybody, can you pull out your phone? All right. Do you have your phone? Fabulous. So what I want you to do is hop on Instagram right now and follow at Vegan Women's Summit. We're going to drop it in the chat. So if you're on Instagram, we want you to follow at Vegan Women's Summit. And if you're not an Instagrammer, but you are on Twitter, we want you to follow at Veg Women's Summit. That's where we're going to be sharing everything going on today. We are going to be live posting all day long, and we want to hear from you. We want to hear about what's exciting you about today's conversations. Make sure to tag us, make sure to follow us, make sure to use the hashtag VWS2021. All right, so I'm going to go through a few quick housekeeping notes. Of course, I've got to do the housekeeping so everybody knows what to expect today. And then after that, I have two very, very special guests to help me kick off the conversation. First things first. The platform you're on right now is called Venue. The wonderful Venue team has put a lot of work in today's conversation to make sure that you have an interactive, amazing experience. So if you have not had a chance, go to the top right. You see that top right there? You see that circle? If you don't have your photo up there and it's just your initials, please sign in onto the portal and update your photo. You can also update your headline. You can update your LinkedIn, your Twitter, so everybody that speaks to you today can get a hold of you after today's conversation. Next, you'll see my name right there. If you hover over, you can find out more information or more information on the circles below about all of the different speakers that are here today or attendees. That's how you can connect and find out where they're joining from, grab their Twitter handle, or grab their LinkedIn. We highly encourage everyone that's joining today to connect with one another. This is a huge space. This is a huge industry. This is an amazing opportunity for you to connect with like-minded people all around the world. So I'd love to know, first off, is this your first VWS event? If you're a first-timer, give me a heart. We got a lot of first-timers. And if this is not your first VWS event, if you're a veteran, give me a thumbs up. Okay? All right, we got a good mix in the room today, so you know what to expect. It's going to be an exciting event. You're going to have a lot of different conversations happening from both employers as well as with other industry professionals. This chat is going to be going here on the main stage. This is where you can chat with one another. We also are going to have workshops that take place today. So if you look below the picture that's on the top right, you're going to see a few tabs. There's the chat tab first. Then there's the questions tab. The questions tab is where you can ask each of the different session speakers your questions. So they're going to be speaking with all the different attendees when we get to the breakout rooms, and they will answer all your questions about career opportunities, company culture, anything that you're wondering about their organization or company. Below that, there is an agenda tab. So if you want to follow along and see who's going to be speaking when, you can go to that agenda tab. If you're having any trouble with the streams today, a few quick things to keep in mind. First off, make sure you're joining with Google Chrome. Google Chrome software to use today. Also, make sure that you refresh your browser window if things are getting a little bit funky. There is a help section on the far right. If those two things don't fix it, I will say 99% of the time, all you got to do is refresh your browser. The last thing I'm going to tell you before we bring up our two first guests is this entire event is recorded. So if it's 3 in the morning where you are and you're not going to be able to stay up for everything, don't worry. Everything's recorded and will be shared out a few days later. I think that's it for the housekeeping. With that being said, can I bring up my first two amazing speakers? We have the CEO of Miyoko's, Miyoko Schinner, joining, as well as the CEO of Rebellyous Foods, Christie Lagally. All right, let's bring you both up on stage. All right. And let's get them up on stage here. Just 1 second as we are connecting with them both. Wow, we have people joining from Lisbon. We've got Edinburgh. Where's everybody finding out about the VWS community? All right. And Christie, I think we should have you coming up any second now, and Miyoko. All right.
Figured it
Hi,
out.
Miyoko. How are you?
Hey, good seeing you. Say hi to the little lambsies.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, little lambsies wear diapers. They want a job too. You know, they're here for the job fair. So I told them they're a little bit too young. We can't hire minors. You know, it's against the law, but eventually.
That's amazing. All right, and let's get Christie up here. Bringing Christie up on stage. All right, Christie, let's get you up here. Hello, hello. We got you up. All right, Miyoko, you here?
Yep, live and kicking.
Okay. Okay. So, first things first, where are you both joining from? This is a very global group here.
Yeah, I'm in Marin County, California.
I'm in Seattle, Washington.
All right. So we are really excited to have you both here today. Are you as pumped as I am that this many women are getting into the space?
Woo! We need more women power all the way.
You know, one of the things I was so excited about this was that not only there's so many women, but so many different women. We need so many different people to bring a lot of different skills to fix a lot of different problems. I'm really excited about that too.
Awesome. All right. So I want to have today's conversation about how you guys both started your careers. I think it will be really exciting to hear a little bit about how things went as you were both starting out before being CEO. I know a lot of people in here are wondering, what does the path to CEO look like? First question, what was your first job?
I've never had a job. I have only been an entrepreneur my entire life. I mean, I had a part-time job. You know, I've had a couple of part-time jobs. You know, I had part-time jobs selling colored brushes in high school. I worked, you know, part-time in a restaurant, things like that. But I have always only been an entrepreneur. I started my first business in the 1980s, making vegan cake. And I've been in, you know, I had a restaurant, another bakery. I had a natural food company back in the 90s making meat alternatives before, you know, they were cool. So I've only ever had my own businesses. So I've never been employed.
Oh my God.
I've always been the head of my own business. So
that's amazing. Christie? What was your first job?
Yeah, I'm thinking back, probably babysitting when I was like strangely 8 or 9 years old, which I don't think we really do anymore in society.
Okay, I did that too.
Okay, fair enough.
Me too.
And then I had a paper route when I was like 12, I think, 11 or 12 years old. And then I worked at a restaurant as soon as it was legal. I remember I was a bus girl. It was what they called me, a bus girl, which I cleaned the tables. Exactly. Many jobs since then.
So how did you figure out what you wanted to do in life, and how old were you?
Yeah, I guess I'll start this time. So, I mean, I think that, first of all, what I wanted to do in life, I wasn't really sure. I remember I mostly just wanted stability, I think, more than anything else. And I think a lot of people can resonate with this. I came from a rather tumultuous background where it was just kind of all up and down and a little bit of I don't know why I say little, but quite a fractured family. And it was a time when it was just like, anything you really had to do to survive was fine and stay in school. And I almost didn't, but I did stay in school. And so I really felt like, I really didn't have any really career aspirations at that time. It was really just, how do we survive? And I think a lot of people could really resonate with that. So I like to share that just for that reason. But once I really started to clarify what I wanted to do, I had already been through a couple of years of community college, and I went through cooking school, and I was really bad at it. So I left cooking school because I shouldn't be cooking even to this day. So I just eat, bananas and, frozen food. And so it really wasn't until a little bit later that I realized I wanted to be an engineer. I was really inspired by space and aircraft, and I loved those things. I really wanted to work on energy solutions and things that I really cared about. So becoming an engineer was not something I did first. It was something I actually did in night school. It took me 6 years to get my engineering degree. And, for those of you who don't think you can go back to school, I was 30 years old when I got my engineering degree, my bachelor's in engineering, and I was 35 when I got my master's in engineering. So, whatever age you're at, you can still go back to school if you want to learn something, highly technical that requires some level of degree like that. But then I, worked in the aerospace industry for a while and really decided I wanted to, really be at the heart of my passion, which was do something about large scale meat production.
Wow. Night school. That is dedication.
It was dedication. I didn't really do a lot of other things.
Miyoko, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I want to piggyback on what Christie is saying, because it really is about dedication. That's how you build on things. You do whatever it takes to become a CEO. That's how you build your own company. So she got her master's at 35. Well, I started Miyoko's when I was 57. And that was 6 years ago. So think about that. Life doesn't end because you hit a certain age. You can keep pursuing whatever it is you want. You can keep building on your dreams. And for me, getting into vegan food was something that I started back when I became vegan over 30 years ago in the 1980s. And I've been building on that through over the last 30 years or so.
Wow. So as everybody can tell, it is never too late to start a mission-driven career. I'm really excited. We have so many people joining from all backgrounds today. People are joining from all ages. Maybe it's your first job that you want to get into in a plant or cell-based career, or maybe it's a total new career transition for you. Either way, as you can see from these two ladies, it's never a bad time. So what do you think are the best lessons you've learned from your career? Maybe Miyoko, will start with you and then Christie.
Sure. I think a lot of the earlier failures I had in business, I could blame all kinds of things. I could say that the time wasn't right, people weren't ready, I couldn't find investors, blah, blah, blah. But I think ultimately the lack of success in my earlier businesses had more to do with me than anything else. I think there was a lot of personal growth that I had to undergo. Belief in myself, confidence in myself, because I don't have an MBA, I guess my very first business when I was about 8 years old, I started publishing a newspaper on our street and sold that. But, I always built on my ideas. I run with an idea, but I never fully embraced it and believed myself that I could actually succeed. So there was always this nagging question at the back of my head, maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe people are going to laugh at you or whatever. So I could never really fully embrace everything I did with confidence and passion. And I think I set myself up for failure. I was the biggest obstacle to my own success. And it took me this long. I had to get into my 50s before I could say, you know what? I'm getting too old to fail. I've got to give this everything I've got, no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were asking about advice, right, Jennifer?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, one of my pieces of advice I always share with people is, just don't think this isn't going to require iteration. Keep the goal in mind, but always just be flexible about the path, because you never know exactly what road it's going to take, and the realities on the ground are not the realities that you have in your PowerPoint presentation, because that's really, really important to be flexible and adaptable. And hey, there might be a global pandemic that shuts down all your customers in the middle of your in the middle of building a company that's only a year old, which is exactly what happened to us. So, you really, as an entrepreneur and even somebody getting into the plant-based foods world, has to really understand that it's about the goal, not necessarily always about the path. And that adaptability and that flexibility of how you actually get to the end goal of reducing meat or providing a product or even in advocacy has to be about what works and what really gets the job done. And it's not always the most obvious thing from the outset. So flexibility and adaptability are just key.
Yeah, I want to just add one thing, because we are speaking to a female audience, largely a women's audience. And I really do feel that flexibility, business acumen, all of that stuff is really, really important. But I think the one disadvantage that women have is themselves. This sounds terrible, but we do question ourselves more than men do. We don't have the bravado, the confidence, the I'm going to go get him type of spirit. And we tend to give away our power all too easily. And that is, I guess that's what I was trying to say earlier, is that was really what created my own failure, was that I gave away my power. I wouldn't believe in myself. And so I'd go hire an expert. And of course, you're going to have to surround yourself with people that are better than you in many ways as your business grows. But I discounted everything I believed in, that everything, my knowledge, my skill set, my talents. I discounted that, thinking somebody else knows better than I do. And that's really, really what I think what led to failure. And this time around, what I've learned and what I want women to understand is that you must believe in your gut. You must believe in yourself, or you will not succeed. Because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to build off that even more because that is just vital to understanding what to do. And the other thing is that, sometimes we don't always believe in ourselves. I feel that way. Sometimes I just wake up in the morning, I'm like, gosh, I hope I'm doing the right thing. But one of the pieces of advice I gave somebody recently was, is that old saying that decisions are made by those who show up. We may not be the perfect person to, start a plant-based meat company. We might not be the perfect person to run a national campaign to change laws, but the people who show up and do the work are the ones who get to make the decision about the future of our industry and the future of animals and the future of our economy. So don't ever think that you have to be everything or ever everything, because you can't be. I mean, you're going to have a few skills and direct them to the best way you can. And that doubt is going to come in. And I completely agree with Miyoko. But half the battle is also being the person at the table making the decisions. Because once you've got yourself in a position to start making those decisions and start speaking up and making sure your voice is heard, whether that be in a legislative process or starting a company, decisions are made by those who show up.
Absolutely, 100%. Well, with that being said, ladies, I think that this brings our first opening chat to a close. It has been a pleasure to have you both join. What we're going to be doing next is everybody is going to be joining their first employer session. So you're going to get to hear one-on-one from the employers. You're going to get to choose between two. We're going to do that a few times. And then once we've heard all the employer sessions, we're going to come back here for a debrief, and then you'll get to network with each other one-on-one. Who knows? You might get to network with Christie. You might get to network with Miyoko. There is hundreds of people in the room. Who knows who's going to be here live? All right. So I shall bid you all adieu. Say goodbye to Miyoko and Christie, and we are going to go to our first session. Oh, this is a perfect goodbye.
Hello, everyone. Can you press the thumbs up if you can hear me? Okay, thank you guys so much. You girls, or should I say. So thank you all for joining me today. And thank you, Jennifer, for inviting me to this amazing event. I'm so thrilled to be part of this event for so many reasons. As a woman, as a vegan, as a co-founder of an alternative protein company. So let me tell you a little bit about what Supermeat is doing. So we are a cultured or cultivated meat company. What that means is that we are producing the technology to create the same identical meat products that people love to eat, only in a different way of production that completely removes the animal. Well, not completely, but removes the animal almost totally out of the equation. In our case, we focus on chickens. So what we do is we take a small painless biopsy from a chicken, and we use the cells in the biopsy to stem cells to create eventually meat tissues that are edible. So as I said, in our case, it would be stem cells. So these stem cells are taken, and then in a meat cultivator, or the more professional way would be bioreactors that you can kind of see behind me right there. We expand them and we grow them into mass in suspension. We give them feed and warmth and nutrients that they need to grow, just like they would need to if they would have stayed inside the animal's body. And that way they expand and they create a large mass of cells. Once we are happy with the mass of cells that we've achieved, then we change the feed of the cells, the diet of the cells, which is kind of similar to what happens in the meat industry when the diet of the animals is changed pre-slaughter. And then this triggers the cells into conforming into the different types of meat comprising tissues like fat, muscle, connective tissues, and so on and so forth. Once the cells are conformed into these types of tissues, we then harvest the cells and we get a large mass of minced meat that we can process and use for food applications. Lately, we've launched this setup right here called the chicken, where you can, on one hand, sit and dine on cultivated meat products. And on the other hand, it is almost, it's 10:30 at night right now, so nobody's in the factory for in Israel time. But if you would have seen this in a normal time for us, you would have seen the workers at the factory actually preparing the meat that you are eating. And I think this is a platform that showcases this amazing technology and the potential that it brings to the world. Since this is something that obviously you can't do when you are working with animals. I'm sure we're all familiar with the famous quote from Paul McCartney: if slaughterhouses had glass walls, we would all go vegetarian or vegan. Supermeat was one of the first. I'll give you a little bit of a little brief of the landscape. Supermeat was one of the first companies out there to focus on cultivated meat. We were the first on chicken. Since we launched, currently there are over 60 or 70 different projects of cultivated meat around the world. Some of the most famous names out there are Memphis Meats, Mosa Meat. In Israel, we also have Olive Farms and Future Meat. The different companies differ from each other in both the animal that they're cultivating the meat of, the types of meat tissues or target cells that they're cultivating. Some companies only focus on fat. Some companies focus on a platter of a few cells. And in our case at Supermeat, we are focusing on fat and muscle of chicken. And we are preparing to launch in restaurants and commercial restaurants in about 2 years. And one last thing, the most important thing, we're currently recruiting We're recruiting talent from many different fields. We're expanding. So we're looking for very talented and strong cell biologists, food engineers, QA people, bioprocess people. Okay, sorry for that. So we're currently recruiting talent from different fields, so cell biologists, food technologists, bioprocess people. If you would like to apply, we're happy to receive your CV. Go to our website, supermeet.com, click on the career section, and you can see all the wanted ads that we have and apply. We will be very, very happy to hear from you. And even if you don't feel like you fit into any different, in any specific descriptor, we would still love to get an email from you. Just send an email to jobs@supermeet.com. But the easiest way would be to go to supermeet.com and click on the careers section. I would love to take your questions. If anybody has a question, you can leave it in the chat. Any marketing and sales positions? Not currently, not right now, no. Do you hire from abroad? Of course. Even though it's COVID times and it's a little bit more difficult, yes, we do hire from abroad. We've already hired a few people from abroad, so that's not an issue for us. I'm super interested to hear more about the development of plant-based culturing media. Okay, so for SuperMeat, we have weaned ourselves off of any type of animal-based ingredients. Many of the different cultivated meat companies out there have done that as well. Some haven't yet, but obviously it's one of the biggest aims of this industry. It's very counterintuitive to culture meat with animal-derived ingredients. So, but for the R&D stage, for parts of the R&D stage, it does make sense to use some animal ingredients when you're weaning the cells off of it. But obviously, the end goal is to have a completely plant-based media, and for SuperMeat, we've already achieved that. If you have any more questions, I would love to see it in the chat. Do you need to immortalize the cells? So there's, if you're asking about genetic engineering, there's no genetic engineering involved in our process. And as far as I know, it is quite a general consensus for this industry to avoid genetic engineering if possible. And it's definitely possible in most cases. How do you think the public will receive it? So far, according to social studies, pretty good. Pretty good. We have 10 seconds left. Go to supermeat.com, click on the careers. We would love to hear from you. Thank you all so much for being here. Bye-bye.
Hey everyone. Hey. Okay, great to see everyone. I'm going to take you through a little presentation. So bear with me if this isn't the slickest presentation you've ever seen, because I haven't used this platform very much before. So cool. So I'm just expand, share my screen. There you go. Share screen. Okay. Okay, I can't see it, but I'm hoping everyone can see the screen. I'm going to go and check now that all you can see the screen, and then I will kick off the presentation. Spare me a second. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, that was really unslick. Could everyone see the screen? Did that work? Okay, cool. I'm going to go there now. Okay, and present. Okay, so I'm Damien Clarkson. I'm co-founder and CEO at The Pack. So The Pack is an alternative proteins food tech company based here in the UK. We're pre-launch, so you might not have heard of us, but we've done some investment rounds that I will tell you about very soon. So the problem, there's absolute huge problem facing the planet, and it's driven by, in part, by the pet food industry. So there's a health crisis in dogs. 51% of dogs are obese, and there's a rise in chronic health disease. So our products that are plant-based, they offer a solution to this. The planet, there's a climate crisis going on right now. Hasn't been talked about that much, but there are studies coming out, and the pet food industry is playing a massive role in driving the climate crisis and access. There aren't enough great, complete plant-based dog foods on the market. So we're addressing that by creating lots of great products. So the products, I really would love to be able to show you the products, but it's all under embargo and hasn't been shared yet. But we're launching a range of free plant-based meat analogs this spring. They're made up from lots of amazing ingredients like papaya, peas, blueberries, blackberries, superfoods that you just wouldn't imagine in the normal conventional dog food. So we've really worked with leading scientists, food engineers, food technologists to come up with these products. And so marketing, it's really important to us that this is a brand that is mainstream, it breaks through, and it's not something that just speaks to us vegans, because we will buy it because we want our dogs to eat a good plant-based diet. So we've worked with Pentagram, who are a world-leading design agency, and a marketing partner called The Library. So everything we're doing here is about making plant-based dog food choices mainstream and accessible. So that's really important to us as a business. So the founding team, I'm Damien. I run the business with my wife and co-founder Judy. Then we have Russell, who is a product developer and is our mad scientist creating all our creations, and Nikhil Van Druzen, who he's a leading plant-based investor, has invested in 18 companies and has built and sold several tech companies in the past. And so who's behind this company beyond the founders? So we have an amazing group of investors who joined our pre-seed round. So it was really important to us that everyone who joined our team really believed in the mission of the company. So we've got people who have lots of experience in both starting companies, but also people who can really help us amplify our message into the mainstream. So we have a soccer player called Chris Smalling, who plays for England and Roma. We have another football player who has played for Liverpool. And we have celebrity chefs Bosch, who are leading plant-based chefs. So it's really important for us to amplify our message. So like I said, we're pre-revenue. We haven't launched yet. We're launching this spring. We're launching as a direct consumer offering with our free ambient plant-based wet foods. And then we're also launching into the Vegan Kind online marketplace. And then we'll be doing retail later in the year. And we've got lots of new products in NPD that we hope to launch as well later in the year. So for us, it's about community and education. And, you know, this company couldn't have happened a couple of years ago because the plant-based movement needed to go mainstream, and people needed to start thinking about their own diets before they started thinking about the health of their animals and the diets of their animals. So it's really important to do a lot of education, a lot of support. So we're here to not judge people, but to support people and make them realize that, you know, plant-based, either all the time or some of the time for their dogs, is a really great option. So we're here to educate and inspire, not to judge. So yeah, like the word is spreading. We've had amazing support about our upcoming launch. We've done things with Plant-Based News, Green Queen, Veg Economist, Pet Food Industry, Well-to-Do, Things Testing. And that's just the start. It's just the start. And we're really, really lucky to be capturing the imagination of people in this industry. And so it's about a real growth mindset. We're here to build a company that is going to change the world. And it's all about the mission behind it. You know, we really believe passionately that dogs deserve better and the planet deserves better. And we're looking for people with a big mindset and a growth mindset who want to help us drive it forward into the mainstream. And recently, as part of that strategy, we were taken on to Leap Ventures. So we were, it's Leap Ventures 4, and it's a cohort of 8 of the most exciting plant-based, not plant-based, so pet care startups in the world. So we were one of 8 companies selected alongside one other plant-based company. So the program is run by, amongst other partners, Mars Pet Care, so a division of Mars called Kinship. So Mars are now a strategic investor in our business, and we're already seeing the benefits of working with such a large company, especially when it comes to MPD and new product development. And these companies are really looking at alternative proteins and want to support businesses that are launching into the space. And yeah, just like being part of the positive change, it's really important to us that we build a really diverse and inclusive workforce and people who really are mission driven to go and change the world. So if that's you, I'd love to answer your questions, and yeah, good luck on your job search. So yeah, we're the pack, and we're taking one giant leap for dogkind. So I'll go back to the screen and we can do some questions. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Great. So first question, is it possible to work for our company if you're a US citizen? Yes, it is possible. At the moment, we only are a team of 5, but we're based in different parts of the world. Our co-founder, Mikhail, is actually based in Barcelona. So we haven't taken anyone from the US yet, but our goal is to have a global company. So we believe that it will be possible to have US citizens work for us. Okay. Yeah, so the roles that we most will be hiring for first will be science roles. So we're looking for a head of science and people working in products. There's so many products we want to bring to the market, so that's definitely a priority for us. And that's then followed by sales, people with expertise in retail sales and also international sales into retail. So that's definitely the first roles that we'll be hiring. Great question. So we don't actually have any roles available on the website. The best thing to do is to get in touch with me at damien@vvolution.com. I'm happy to look at CVs, and we'll be announcing roles in the next couple of months. So right now, like I said, we're really early. Our focus is on getting to market in the next couple of months, and then we'll be hiring roles. So follow us on social media. Please feel free to reach out to me directly, either via email or on LinkedIn, or and I'll be happy to, point you in the direction of the jobs when they come up, or help you in any way I can.
Hi, can you hear me? Oh, okay. Can you give me a thumbs up if everyone can hear me? Okay, perfect. Great. Didn't realize I was starting already. So thank you so much for having me here, Jennifer and Cornelia. Again, I'm just so thrilled to be part of this event with such amazing other founders and other companies. So let me kick it off. I'm going to share my screen with you. Just give me one moment. Can you give me another thumbs up if you can see my screen? Perfect. Okay. So, hi, I'm Isabella. I am the founder of Keynote Labs. So, Keynote Labs is a mission-driven biotech startup, and we're working to deliver the next generation of meat alternatives. Our vision is to accelerate the world's transition to environmentally sustainable, equitable, and animal-free protein. And the way that we want to do that is to create healthier, nutrient-dense, and minimally processed whole-cut meat alternatives grown naturally from fungal mycelium. So what we're trying to do is actually use a microbial fermentation platform and filamentous fungi to create mycelial biomass, and then use that biomass as the main ingredient to create much healthier, as again, nutrient-dense, and much more minimally processed meat alternatives that can be on par in terms of the nutritional composition, as well as the taste and texture with regular meat. So we are based in Berlin, which is a vibrant city, and it's one of Europe's most booming startup hubs, not to mention the fact that Germany is leading the vegan revolution in Europe today. So If you're looking to move to Berlin, or if you're in Berlin or Europe already, it's a great place to be part of the startup scene, and it's a very exciting place to be building one of the future of food companies today. So I want to tell you a little bit about the positions that we're looking for. Oh, bear with me for one moment. Looks like one of our slides is down. Okay, well, I'll just explain what the actual positions are. Pardon me for that. So we're essentially hiring today a head of R&D. And for this person, we want them to come in and help us build out our bioprocess, our upstream as well as our downstream processing. So somebody who comes probably from a biotechnology background, microbiology, or biochemical engineering or a related field. We're also looking for somebody for head of product innovation. So this person would be coming to us and helping us develop and kind of craft what those fungi-based meat alternatives are going to look like. So this person would probably be coming from a food technology background, or potentially another chemical engineering background or a related field. So if this sounds like you or somebody you know, then feel free to apply to the job at kinokolabs.com. You can also find us on LinkedIn, or if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out here at hello@kinokolabs.com. We would love to hear from you. And please keep in touch. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now because I want to give you guys the chance to ask some questions. Hold on. Let me pick up the questions here. Okay, here, I think I have some of the questions. Here we are. Are you currently looking to hire a copywriter, content writer? So today, okay, let me go through some of the questions. A lot of the questions are about different positions that we're hiring for. So at the moment, we're really looking for people who are coming from more of a scientific background. So more biotechnologist, food technologist, for those two different positions. If you come from a different type of science background, like microbiology, biochemical engineering, something like that, that would also be a great fit, even material science. We will, of course, eventually be needing people from different backgrounds in marketing or legal. So if you have any questions, or if you just want to send a general application, you can always do that. You can feel free to reach out at hello@kinokolabs.com, and we'll definitely get back to you as soon as possible. So yeah, feel free to also send general applications. That's completely fine. Just going to look at these other. One of these questions is, how quickly does it grow? Are the specific strains of mushroom mycelium used in meats scalable? Great question, actually, Adriana. So that's one of the advantages of working with fungi and microbial fermentation over some of the other options that are out there on the market today. That's one of the reasons that I believe so wholeheartedly in a fungi-based approach, is because by using the different fungal strains that we're planning to develop our products from, those strains can basically grow the raw ingredient within a matter of hours. As opposed to days or weeks when it comes to other types of solutions. This doesn't need any land, so using a microbial fermentation platform, it's irrespective of land and climate restrictions or constraints. So essentially, we're using urban agriculture to be able to grow our ingredient as opposed to growing it on land. So it's also very less water intensive. So just in terms of the question for how quick it grows, a matter of hours. It depends on the strain in terms of specific hours, though. And would you be interested in having PhD students come in for a short internship? Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be posting more jobs for interns as well. So if there's anybody out there who's interested in an internship, feel free to also reach out. And I have a lot of different CVs that I'm keeping on hand. So you can feel free to send yours to me as well. Are you looking to commercialize your product? If so, how would a scientific sales team help with that process? Yes, definitely. We're looking to commercialize the product. So our end product is going to be a whole cut meat alternative. So I'm looking at, for example, creating steaks and fillets and cutlets. So something that's really that you don't see on the market today, and what a lot of the cell-based companies are working towards as well. Today you have mostly the burgers and the nuggets and sausages, but not something that's really like a whole steak that you can grill, or something like a chicken cutlet. So our goal is to be able to develop something that can really be a whole cut and still be center of the plate, but completely fungi-based. So that will be what we're trying to commercialize. And along the way, we'll also want to be a B2B ingredient supplier. So we're going to take a few different sales channels approach. Let me see here. Many biologists gain experience in the pharmasphere, growing mammalian cell lines. Would this kind of experience suit you? Great question, Cecilia. Yes, actually. So a lot of the different people who are applying, who I'm interviewing, are coming from a biopharma or a biomedical background, who also have the skill set in microbial fermentation or in growing cells, like as you said. So that kind of experience would be definitely beneficial. So feel free to apply if that's your background. How can a business operations marketing specialist, non-tech or science background tailor their career to meet the business needs? Ooh, good question. I think that there's going to be so many different people that are needed for helping to build the companies that we're trying to build today. So, from my perspective, Kinoko Labs, as we grow, of course, we're going to be starting with some of the more science-heavy positions, but absolutely we'll need to have business managers, people with operations backgrounds, and marketing specialists joining our teams to really be able to make the impact that we want to make. So I'd say if you want to tailor your career to perhaps start getting, in touch with some of the companies, let them know that you're interested early on, and, attend a lot of events like this, because this is the perfect place to meet, also mission-driven companies who share the same value sets as you. I think that's, I only have about 30 seconds left, so I just want to answer succinctly and see if I can get to one more question. No, we're not trying to create something like the Impossible Burger. We're not trying to be exactly, a bleeding steak, because that's what the cell-based companies are doing today. We want to create something that's realistic, tasty, nutritious, but still maintaining the fact that we are fungi and proud to be fungi-based. So I think that's all the time we have. If you have any questions, email me. Thank you so much for attending the session. Thrilled to be here. Thanks.
Hello. I guess I'll get started. People are still streaming in, so maybe I'll just wait a few seconds for people to join. There's Nora as well.
Hello. Great to see so
Oh,
many.
you're currently muted, Nora.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me
There
now?
you are.
No, okay. I'll check that while you
Okay,
speak.
that's fine. Great. Oh, I need to get started. So basically, I'll share the presentation. Sorry, I just forgot where to share the presentation. Just a second. Frank, how do I share the presentation again? Here we go. Share your screen.
And just one, can you hear me now? No.
I hope everyone can see this. Okay, so ProVeg is an international food awareness organization working to transform the global food system by replacing conventional animal products with plant-based and cultivated alternatives. We have various status with the United Nations, with the UNFCCC, and with the United Nations Environment Programme. We're an accredited organization, and we've also won a Momentum for Change award. We are active in 8 offices in 4 continents, as you can see, in Europe, Asia, South Africa, and the US. And of course, our mission is to reduce the global consumption of animal products by 50% by the year 2040, and striving for a world where everyone chooses delicious and healthy food that is good for all humans, animals, and the planet. Here you can see the 5 pros: pro-taste, health, justice, animals, and environment, that we see as a multi-problem solution to the world, the issues that we have at hand. And promoting plant-based and cultivated solutions address all of these. Here you can see them again. So we have a lot of impactful interventions, from campaigning to organizing events, conferences with the medical society. We have a grants program, science and research, producing reports, partnership and networking, school programs, advocacy trainings, community building. We have corporate engagement work, consulting directly, but doing a whole host of things with companies, fairs and events. We consult food services. We have test community. The V label is part of our work. We do media outreach, as all organizations do. We have a fantastic incubator, and one of the incubator cohort participants is also joining today, How Food from China. And we do policy and public affairs and lots of other things. So just to give you a couple of examples from the ProVeg incubator, we have 45 startups since the beginning. They've raised over 18 million euros raised for their companies, and already more than 40 products have been launched. This is based in Berlin, and it's very popular, so we get a high volume of applications every round. We also have a great grants program, and since 2018 we have already given out 280 grants or more in 62 countries, 6 continents, and helping small organizations to large organizations with any advocacy work or research that they're doing. We have a lot of upcoming events and webinars, including VegMed from the 28th of February to 2nd of March for the medical and health professionals. We have a plant-based foods in Europe, how big is the market webinar next week, looking at the changes and the growth. We also have a future food series about cheese and what that's looking like. New Food Invest is a new conference that we're hosting for the first time together with Beyond Animal. They're organizing this and looks really at investment in the sector and matching partners with new startups and investors with growing companies. So be there if you're interested in the startup sector. And then we also have a new food conference in April, which will also be held in Cologne, hopefully in person in October. Now I hand over to Nora, but I can't hear Nora.
Okay, Jasmine. The people in the chat say they can hear me, so hopefully that works. Yeah. Yeah, just a few words about the culture at ProVeg, and we also want to have some time for questions. So ProVeg is committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and for that we have a permanent day working group, and we want to attract and retain diverse talents and ensure a safe and inclusive working environment for all. That's important for us. And here you can see our culture and values, which are important for the whole team. I won't go through all of them, but you can find them also on our job page. And I also wanted to show you how our team is active beyond the direct work for ProVeg, because that's something we are also very proud of. And Jasmine, for example, is a really experienced animal and vegan advocacy activist, so to say, and she, besides many other things she was also a keynote speaker at the first plant-powered women leadership conference in Sydney, and contributed to a few books on animal advocacy, feminism, and leadership. Then we also have Nicole from ProVeg Netherlands. She's our COO there, and she contributed a book chapter to the Dutch feminist anthology of stories from female animal rights activists recently. And then we have Annalena Klatt from our German team. She's based in Berlin. She's a nutrition and health specialist and just recently published the book in German, Food Revolte, a vegan feminist manifest, which is also a great achievement, we think. So you can see those publications. And there are 3 common ways to be pro-veg. You can change your diet, you can spread the word, or make a donation. But there's also another one. You could join our team and bring your passion and skills into the team. And yeah, that would be really great. And for that, you can visit our job page, where we have currently these open vacancies based in Germany, then a few also spread about across Europe for the V label and in Poland. But it's definitely worth it to also check out the job site to see our volunteer and intern positions and also new open positions in the future. And now we use nearly our time, but I'll check the question section now. And just mine disappeared. Will remote roles transition into office roles? We have a few offices. Our biggest one is in Berlin, and we plan to go back to the office after the pandemic, but most of our other teams in the other countries don't have an office. And also for the German team, we hire also remote people now, because we realized that it's working out really great. There are many questions and I'm a bit overwhelmed. I hope that I see or you can talk to our team, because during the networking sessions, it's not only Jasmine and me talking to the others, but also 3 of our amazing team members, Natalie, Stephanie, and Martin. And if you don't get your questions answered, you can reach out to Martin and me on LinkedIn or via email later, and we get back to you, because this format actually is a bit overwhelming for me right now, and we have 30 seconds left, so I'm not sure what to focus on. Yeah, Martin just wrote in the chat that you can connect to him with him on LinkedIn. So Martin is also in the HR team and happy to answer your questions. Yeah, and thank you for being here, and I hope you have an amazing evening and a lot of fun by talking to all these wonderful people here.
Hi everyone, can you hear me? So if you can hear me well, oh awesome, a lot of thumbs up. Okay, I'll wait 5-10 more seconds so people have time to join and I'll get started. Perfect. I think we can go now. The timer has started. So my name is Clément. Thank you all for being here. It's super impressive to have you all here. I'm COO and co-founder of Tiamat, but during our 10 minutes, we are going to talk mainly about what we are doing and the awesome person behind this company, which is France-Emmanuelle Adil, Tiamat founder and CEO. So to start with her, France is a biochemist. She started to work in the vaccine industry, and 4 years ago, she turned vegan. And so this change of personal lifestyle has a huge impact on our professional day-to-day work. As a biochemist working in the vaccine industry, she realized that a lot of reagents and processes were animal-based. And as a vegan, she wanted to change that. So she started to look for other solutions in the field. And she quickly realized that not only there were few reagents, animal-free reagents and other animal-free solutions, but also those animal-based processes were a main source of pain in the industry. So as a biochemist, she knew of other technology to produce proteins that could be used in replacement, and she started to work to find those alternatives. So she went into a specific technology field, which is called plant molecular farming. And the idea is to use plants as a system to produce some high value proteins. And so she really started as a hobby to work on a technology platform in a do-it-yourself biology lab. and she basically designed what's the basis of what we are using today for Tiamat and for what is now a proper startup. So this is a bit how it started. This was 2.5 years ago. Now we have a complete technology platform. We are able to produce high-value proteins such as growth factors and enzymes using this technology and our platforms. And based on that, we want to serve companies active in various fields, one being the cell-based meat companies. And why is it interesting for them? Because they are trying to remove animal-based reagents for the complete process. So if you've been to the super meat presentation, you have an idea of the challenges there. And they also need high-value biomolecules that are called growth factors as a part of their process. And we are providing those growth factors for a better price than the one on the markets and 100% animal-free. So this is one of the examples of what we are working on with Tiamat, but there are many other opportunities from vegan vaccines to some new treatments and so on. So this is roughly what we are doing. I'm going to make a short talk because I want to have time for your questions. Maybe a last point on the current stage and why I am here today to explain you all of that. So basically, the adventure started here in Belgium, in Brussels, where we are both working from with France. But we are now moving to the United States in North Carolina to open our facility production. So we will keep both sides in Brussels and North Carolina active. And we are about to close a financing round that will allow us to hire a new team for the US office and to strengthen the team here in Belgium. So we are looking for mainly scientist position at this stage, plant molecular farming scientists, of course, but also production scientists and people who have good knowledge of purifications and so on, but also some support roles. And more globally, we are super open to have some other positions because things are evolving quite fast and we are really looking for value-driven people. So for us, recruitment is an important part. We want to have one of the best teams that you can find in a startup, and we know that this takes time. So I think this is the broad overview. It's leaving us with 5 minutes for questions. So please share anything you have in mind. I'm not sure where I can find them. Up. I'll just go here. Up. How does the cost of plant farming compare to microbial fermentation? So this is a kind of technical ones. There are different systems to produce those recombinant proteins. One of the advantage of plants is that the costs of growing the biomass, which is plant in our case, is way lower than the cost to grow other biomass such as yeast or bacteria in other cases. And even if in some cases the yield, so how many protein can we produce with our technology, are lower than with other technologies, the fact that we can grow a lot of plants for really cheap makes it a perfect candidate to scale and to produce high value proteins at low costs. Have you done any environmental assessments of your product like life? Wow, those are super technical questions. Another impact of your product compared to animal products. So the assessment on the technology and the products themselves are ongoing. We are kind of early stage. We are kind of still early stage. But what we do know is that the plant machinery provide a good protein activities and a lot of other advantages. Why did you choose to open your lab in the US? When do you plan to launch the product in Europe? So the reasons why we decided to move to the US, there are several of them. I'd say that the environment there to grow our activity is offer many opportunities from investments. There are a lot of investors in the US to the places we can put our facilities. And also in North Carolina, there is really a kind of hub with a lot of awesome scientists working in our field. So recruitment, investments, and clients would be the top 3 reasons why we wanted to move. Also, at the personal level, it's super cool to have this opportunity to have both a foot in Europe and in the US. And so when do we plan to start selling our products in Europe? We do plan to have the first testing in the coming months, so maybe from April, probably. And the selling, it will come shortly after. What aspect of your personal and professional experience position you to be a strong COO at Tiamat? This is a tough question. Thank you for asking. So I think I'm coming from a marketing background. Both Franz and myself are first-time entrepreneurs. The main things that drive us today and that just push us to do further and further is really the end goal. Like at Tiamat, we have this mission to remove animal base from biotechnology. And this is something that is way bigger than us. And we feel that we are a part of it, that we bring a solution. So this alone, this is what qualifies us to do so. On my personal background, I'm coming from a marketing background. I've done a bit of HR, but what defines the skills that I'm using most is a kind of operation and organization skills, which is coming from a bit of everything that I've done before. And this is how I think I'm doing a good job as a CEO. Where do we find your career opportunity? Thank you, Jennifer, for asking. So on the website, which will be released in the coming weeks, maybe. Otherwise, on LinkedIn, we try to be pretty active. And more globally, you can really share me your applications because whether we have an open position yet or tomorrow, we'll take the time to review them and to keep them close to us for later opportunity. Was it difficult to enter the EU market regulation? So the regulation and entering the EU market, no, not too difficult. One of the reasons why is that our technology is existing since many years now, and the product that we are doing also exists. We are doing them differently, but so yeah, no, not that hard. I may take one last question. Any product available in the US yet? No, I think we have kind of a similar time frame. So the first testing will be available from April, and then following the testing, we'll go for the first sales. I have 10 seconds less to thank you all for your time. Please, you can add me and follow me and France Emmanuel on LinkedIn and Tiamat. And it was really a pleasure to be there with you all. Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. If you don't mind, could you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Thanks. There's Lindsay. I'm going to wait a couple of seconds and then we will get started. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. So we don't have a lot of time. So hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining our session and for your interest in Mercy for Animals. My name is Samantha. I am the Talent Acquisition Manager here at MFA. I am joined by several of my colleagues today, and presenting with me is the lovely Lindsay Bombard, who is our Talent Development Manager. I'm going to hand it over to her in just a couple of moments. Before I do that, I have a few things I would like to say. First, we are really excited to be here today, partnering with Vegan Women's Summit and connecting with all of you. So we'd like to share a bit of information with you, and then we will allow some time to answer some questions. We are most excited to share with you who we are as an organization and what commitments we have in place to continue to pave the way for a kinder, healthier, freer, and more sustainable world. At this point, I am going to hand it off to Lindsay to introduce herself and share a little bit more with you.
Thank you, Sam. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Hi, everyone. It is so good to be here with you today. My name is Lindsay, and I work with Sam on our People Operations team here at Mercy for Animals as our Talent Development Manager. We wanted to share with you some key callouts about MFA, and I want you to know that you will be able to find all this information on our website too. Firstly, our vision is a world where animals are respected, protected, and free to pursue their own interests. Our mission, which is like our unique path to achieving that vision, is to construct a compassionate food system that reduces suffering and ends the exploitation of animals used for food. Our core values are compassion, impact, integrity, innovation, collaboration, and global mindedness. And speaking of global mindedness, we are a global organization. Today here with us, in addition to me and Sam, we have team members from the US and Mexico. We also have a large team in Brazil, as well as team members in Canada and India. At MFA, as you can imagine, our team speaks several languages such as Spanish and Portuguese and others, and we are always striving toward embracing and enhancing this core value of global mindedness as we expand across the world. Our current strategic plan is up on our website. It is focused on constructing that compassionate food system. And our three main change goals in that strategic plan are corporate transformation, legal process, and capacity building. And at this time, I will hand it back over to Sam to share with you a couple more key points about MFA and our internal culture.
Thanks, Lance. So something we are really passionate about here at MFA is our commitment toward rooting out systems of oppression in our organization, our movement, and society. Our commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice, as well as regular updates of our progress, which we share publicly in our DEIJ report on our website. On our career page, you'll find our current open positions and some further information on internal culture, highlights, things such as that. And I want to also say Mercy for Animals believes in our team members. We foster a place for innovation, fresh perspectives, and autonomy. We stand alongside each other in a collaborative, supportive, and passionate environment. And we are excited, super excited, to see what new talent and perspectives we can add to just further elevate our organization and our mission. If you have any open questions after the event, we'd love to invite you to stay connected with us through whichever means is most convenient for you. You can do that through email, LinkedIn, stay abreast of our current positions on our career page, which is updated in real time. We are all so very eager to meet with you and to stay in contact with anyone interested in pursuing a career with us. Even if you do not feel that you fit into any particular descriptor or skill set, we'd still love to stay connected with you as we will continue to hire throughout the year. There is also an option on our website to submit your resume for further consideration for any upcoming positions that open up. And I want to leave some time to just answer any questions that you may have. So I am going to stop talking for a bit.
Okay. So the first question, what roles are in greatest demand? Sam, do you have an idea about this one?
I would love to take that one. So right now we have open positions in, I think, let me scroll down so I can read you every single one that we have. I have notes all over the place. So we have open positions for an economist. That is a priority for us right now. We have an open position for VP of Public Engagement. That position is open globally, so we will open that up remotely in US, Brazil, and Mexico. We're also looking for a transformation director and a farmer outreach manager, which is super exciting. We're also looking for a controller for our finance department. And there will be so many upcoming positions as well. We will be hiring in digital marketing. I think I might have lagged out a little bit. Digital marketing. We'll have positions open in finance. We'll have positions open in people operations. We'll have positions open in the engagement division and organizing. We will have positions opening in advocacy. We will also be launching paid internship programs. I think I just answered that next question.
Yes, you did. Thank you, Sam. Yes. So the next question up on the screen is any entry-level jobs?
Yes, we will be. Something I'm really excited about is our paid internship program. So that is definitely open to entry level, but we will also be hiring in our people operations department. That will be an entry level position, and there will be more. So even if you don't, that stigma there that you don't hit every box or you don't tick off please apply anyway.
Yes, we have open positions ranging from, well, maybe not necessarily open right at the moment, but we do have positions ranging from coordinator all the way up to SVP. So definitely entry-level opportunities and internship opportunities. Next question, where can we apply for the paid internships?
Great question. That will be on our career page. So keep an eye on that career page. I know that there are so many platforms out there to look for positions, but our career page is the best page. It is updated in real time. It will hit that page before it hits any other external platform out there. So bookmark it, keep an eye on it, submit an application of general interest. I look at those. Keep connected with me, follow up with me, email me anytime. Please do.
Awesome.
All of our positions right now are remote. Sorry, I see them and I'm just answering them. All of our positions right now are remote. We do have some positions that open up, at our headquarters right now. Most of them are remote and they will be permanently remote. So the job descriptions and the job posts out there will specify that. They will say remote.
Awesome. Thank you, Sam. Next question. Mercy for Animals was the first vegan organization I worked with in college. Very cool. How much has your organization grown and changed in the last 5 years? I would say that our organization has grown and changed over the last 5 years. We have our strategic plan was drawn out over the course of 3 years, and it goes until the end of this year. And in it, we laid out a lot of things like solidifying the mission that we really see ourselves pursuing, our core values. We have a very cohesive senior leadership team who has come out with leadership principles on what it means to be a leader at Mercy for Animals.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Go ahead. Thank you. Fantastic. I am going to. There's Tina. Hey, everybody. All right. I'm going to share my screen. Oh, there it goes. All right. Can everybody just see my Rebellyous team screen? All right, great. Well, I will introduce ourselves to start with. Since we don't have a whole lot of time together, we'll just get started, and I'm sure people will dive in as well. I'm Christie Lagally. I'm the founder and CEO of Rebellyous Foods, and I have with me Tina Meredith. Tina, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm really glad to be here. I'm the business administration manager, and I am receiving all of the applications.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So we're going to share a presentation with you about Rebellyous Foods for just a few minutes, and then we'll have plenty of time to start answering your questions, and we'll both be here to answer your questions. So, like I said, we're Rebellyous Foods, and we're building a team in 2021. So we wanted to share a little bit about what we do and what the type of jobs that we're looking to fill. So our vision at Rebellyous is to essentially exist to make plant-based food production or plant-based meat production a truly scalable, sustainable, and viable solution to replace industrial animal agriculture. Many people don't realize that in the United States alone, we produce over 107 billion pounds of animal-based meat, and yet we only produce about 0.5% of that volume in plant-based meat, meaning that most people we actually only produce enough plant-based meat products for everybody in the United States to have one meal per year. So we really feel like there's a need to address the plant-based meat production issue. And to that end, getting organized is one of the key things that we need to do in order to start a company and actually make a difference. And I wanted to share this wonderful quote from one of our advisors at Rebellyous. There is no shortage of smart people, that's all of you, or good ideas, and there's lots of great ideas around replacing meat, but there's an extreme shortage of smart people organized to work effectively as a team to execute those good ideas. And this is what we're really trying to do at Rebellyous Foods. And essentially, we get at it in a couple of different ways because we do a lot of interesting things at Rebellyous. First and foremost, we are a finished goods production facility. We make plant-based chicken nuggets, patties, and tenders under the name Rebellyous Foods, but we also make these products for restaurants. We also make another product called the Chicken Nugget for the National School Lunch Program. And we make a variety of products that are for confidential customers to be used in fast food restaurants. The second thing we do is we build new systems and engineer automated systems to deploy in our production facility so that we can make plant-based meat more available in higher volumes, at faster speeds, and at lower cost. We believe the biggest barrier to plant-based meat is that people don't have enough of it and enough access to it, and it's not cost-effective enough. So we're addressing that. And to that end, to addressing cost and volume, we're doing fundamental research to design, build, and deploy new production equipment to make plant-based meat faster, better, and more cost-effective. This is a picture of a couple of our engineers in the Equipment Research and Development Lab, and they're actually working on a prototype that they'll be deploying in about a month or two that will be an automated process for doing one step in the making of plant-based meat. So we're really, really excited about how automation and mechanization of making plant-based meat will make it possible to make more of it at higher quality and at much higher volumes and lower costs, so it'll be available and affordable for everyone. So to that end, we can't do this alone. Oops, I think it stopped my screen, so let's try that again. All right. Can you guys see the screen again? All right, to that end, we obviously need a lot of fantastic people in order to make such a complex system work, to have engineers, have people working on the production line, people developing new products. And so I'll just walk down the list of things, the positions that we are hiring for. And feel free, Tina, if you want to jump in if I miss any. But first of all, we're hiring for business in business positions such as sales support in the near future. So watch our website for that, a cost accountant, and an HR generalist. One of the best ways to get involved in our company is actually to join the production team. We're hiring technicians. These are highly trained production positions where you're not only working to make the products, but you're also involved in research and development to make products faster, better, and cheaper. So it's kind of a dual production, which is the everyday job, and also partial research projects as well. And then finally, we have a couple of engineering positions open for senior engineers, a facilities manager. If you've ever done facilities management or you really think you can do that kind of work, we have a huge facility that we need support in. And obviously, running a manufacturing facility requires support in that regard. And we will have summer internships this year. And finally, I just want to provide a little bit of advice about working at a startup. Working at an impact startup means a couple of things. You're essentially at the forefront of changing a part of society. You're essentially building something from nothing. You're doing the hard work that has never been done before. And you are essentially taking responsibility to build the change that you wish to see in the world. So I had this little cartoon on the side that sounds impossible to some people, but I think to us it'll seem a little normal, about this woman looking for ground beef that's organic, non-GMO, and doesn't create meat. Well, it is possible, but it is hard. And we never try to pretend like it isn't. So if this sounds like a fun and inviting work environment, come and join us. Go to join the Rebellion at rebellyous.com. Join the Rebellion to find all of our job information. So with that, we will jump over to the questions. And Tina, maybe we can go back and forth on questions. Oops. How would you suggest an engineer make the switch from working in non-food tech to food manufacturing? I'll take that one. So there is first of all, we mostly have non-food tech engineers at our company, I myself included. I'm a mechanical engineer. We have design engineers. It turns out that, engineering can be quite the general skill, and as long as you're kind of learning and have the right background. So for example, we need robotics engineers, we need process engineers. Those can come from a wide variety of backgrounds. It's mostly just that having that background in engineering.
Hi, everyone. If you can hear me, will you do a thumbs up? Awesome. Just waiting for my colleague Dave to join the screen here. There he is.
Hey.
Can you all hear Dave? Awesome. Okay, let me share my screen. Now one more thumbs up. Can you see my screen? Yay. Okay, great. Welcome, everyone. We are so excited to be here. If you are eager to make an impact for farmed animals, if you value effectiveness, if you desire a supportive, collaborative work environment, we think the Humane League might be right for you. I'm the Executive Vice President, Dave's the President, and we're going to tell you a little bit about our organization.
Thank you, Andrea. So if you're not familiar with our work yet, the Humane League is an international nonprofit, and our mission is to end the abuse of animals raised for food. And our overarching strategy here really at the Humane League is to create really big social change by building a movement that's bigger than ourselves. So we invest a lot in recruiting and training new leaders, in sharing resources across the movement, collaborating with other organizations. And to date, really our most impactful program in this area has been a campaign to hold corporations accountable. So we've really influenced some of the world's biggest companies to create and implement animal welfare policies that are abolishing some of the worst forms of abuse on factory farms and changing the lives of millions, tens of millions of animals. And we also support the introduction of laws that ban the confinement and inhumane treatment of animals to back up these corporate policies. And towards this work around the world, we founded the Open Wing Alliance, which is now a global coalition, of organizations ending the use of cages for egg-laying hens worldwide and transforming the lives of chickens. We have now over 76 organizations in 62 countries working together on global campaigns. And through the Open Wing Alliance, we're able to exponentially increase the number of policies and hens that we're impacting each year in every major market around the world, and winning big campaigns against some of the largest food companies you can imagine. And the reason that we're focused on the small number of programs is that we try to be really thoughtful about the specific ways that we spend our resources, the reforms that we're working on. We try to remain focused on the few things that we think are going to have the biggest possible impact in the coming years. So we have a lot of experts on staff, people like veterinarians and economists and corporate campaigners and so forth. We even have our own research arm called Humane League Labs, which conducts studies and makes practical recommendations about how we should be spending our time, what kind of direction the animal movement should move in. In the US, our team spans the country from Seattle to Boston and everywhere in between. This includes thousands of grassroots activists, including our captains who organize local volunteers. It includes campus organizers. Additionally, we have branches in the UK, in Mexico, in Japan, and that's where we have passionate full-time team members leading in their areas, as well as teams of volunteers. And while our programs have evolved over the years, we've really continued to hold ourselves to this standard of impact and effectiveness, and importantly, a willingness to adjust our strategy as we've needed. So we've been recognized as one of the most effective animal organizations in the world by Founders Pledge. We've received the first and largest, and I believe most numerous, grants from the Open Philanthropy Project, which is this really rigorous Effective Altruist Foundation. And we've been rated the highest rating top charity by animal charity evaluators for every one of their rating periods. We're the only charity with that distinction. So you know that if you come to work with Andrea and I and our colleagues at THL, you will be part of a project that is already impacting millions of animals each year, and that has the potential to impact many tens of millions more to come. We also care a lot, on top of helping animals, about our culture and the kind of organization that we have. So I'll hand things over to Andrea to talk a little bit about that.
Thanks. Yeah, since our founding, we've invested in building a positive and strong culture. We care a lot about job sustainability. So all of our staff work remotely. All of our positions are remote. We lead with trust and autonomy. We really focus on guiding people to outcomes rather than managing daily tasks. We're big advocates of work-life balance. We encourage people to unplug in the evenings and weekends. We have flexible PTO policy. And second, we know how important it is to feel like a team at work. So we foster connection intentionally. We have in-person retreats at least once or twice a year. In between, we build connection through virtual fun events like icebreakers, cookie decorating parties, tea times, and so on. And finally, we're building an organization where individuals of diverse identities and lived experiences belong, are valued, and have what they need to thrive. Inclusion has always been one of our core values. And the reason the Humane League has been so successful is because we encourage feedback and we include a variety of individuals in decision making. For the last 2 years, with the support of an outside consultant, we've been working to examine our practices and ensure there's true equity and inclusion at the Humane League. We're taking steps to become a more anti-racist organization. In our annual staff surveys, our staff overwhelmingly report feeling like the Humane League is a great place to work, and we think so too. So we hope you'll consider applying to join our team. These are the positions we currently have available, and that's a link to our website there. The board member positions on a separate website. And then these are the positions that'll be coming soon. I'll leave this up as we do the Q&A. The first one I see is, what suggestions do you have for standing out in our applications? I mean, for me, I think, yeah, so we definitely have pretty high standards here, standards of excellence. And so I think making sure that everything looks polished, is proofread and so on, that's like the bare minimum. And then if you can really sell us on how your experience aligns with the qualifications of the job, that's really important. We get a lot of applications. I'm screening for a job right now where we have over almost 250. And so you really need to sell us. Let's see, which one should we take? We do have internship positions. We'll be opening more of those probably by summer. We're right now revamping that program, so just keep an eye on our jobs page. We just closed a position for graphic designers, so I'm sorry, we're a little too late for that one. Dave, you want to take the next one?
Sure, I see one that just popped up. Allison asks, I'm a law student who wants to fight for farmed animals. Do you have a legal team? We indeed. We have a legal team here in the US. And I would say keep your eyes open for potential openings in that department in the coming year. And additionally, I would recommend keeping your eyes peeled across the animal orgs. I think as the movement has been growing, a lot of organizations have seen the need for more legal support. So I imagine that there will be roles. And you can also look at groups like the Animal Legal Defense Fund, which are really focused on legal advocacy and might have a lot of positions that could be a good fit.
I see a lot of questions about international. I don't know if we're about to.
Am I on? I think we're waiting for our HR department. I'm not sure why they're not on, and somehow I got brought on. Lenora and Olaya from our HR department should be coming on. I think they have a presentation. I was just going to watch, but here I am. Hello, everybody. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Maybe somebody can come on. Here's Olaya. And
yes, hi.
And Lenora should be on as well. Or is she coming on?
Yes, she should be joining us in a sec.
Okay, great. I wasn't planning to be on, but somehow I got put up here. So.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi, Miyoko. It's good to have you. We were going to talk about
Well,
you
I wasn't.
anyway.
They just brought me on. I was just going to watch you guys, and somehow I got put up here. So.
Hey,
more the merrier.
It's good to have you in case we forget something important. But I guess I'll go ahead and want to make sure everyone can hear us all okay. All right.
We can hear.
All right. Hi, everybody. We are so excited to be part of VWS today. My name is Lenora Olson. I'm the Director of HR for Miyoko's Creamery. I'm presenting with our Talent Acquisition Manager, Olaya Barkala. You'll hear from her in a few minutes. And I'm also presenting with the famous Miyoko. Miyoko's Creamery is located in the beautiful Petaluma area. We're in California. Petaluma is just 30 minutes north of San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge. Miyoko's is a vegan company dedicated to compassion for all living things. We make phenomenal vegan products that we want to get out to people to help them make the transition from animal products. Our cheeses and butters are made from fermented plant milks, and trust me, they are delicious. I eat them every day. Our products can be found in over 19,000 stores in North America, excuse me. Miyoko's is a B Corp, which is exciting in and of itself. And we were founded by Miyoko herself in 2014. She's our acting CEO, and you can read more about Miyoko's exciting mission at miyokos.com. We have over 200 employees working in our headquarters in Petaluma, and we're always looking for compassionate and talented individuals to join us. Olaya is going to tell you a little bit more about our company culture and our current career opportunities. So take it away, Olaya.
Thank you. Glad to see you, Miyoko. It was a surprise also. So basically, as Miyoko explained herself during her presentation earlier today, everything started 6 years ago with, I would say, 4 enthusiastic people down in Fairfax, down from where we are right now here in Petaluma. So, the mission at Miyoko's is very clear. We want to change the world. We want to, convince people that plant-based is the future. So we decided to start, making these delicious products, as Lenora mentioned, because as Miyoko mentioned as well, she's a long-term entrepreneur, and she's a vegan chef, and she was writing these recipe books, and one of them, the vegan artisan cheese, was explaining how to make these vegan cheeses at home, which is, believe me, a pretty complex process. So the fan base and readers were asking, okay, Miyoko, that's great, that's pretty cool, but yeah, why don't you make the cheeses so we can basically buy them? And so long story short, this is how everything started. So again, 6 years later, we are around 200 employees. We are growing double digits each year. We have doubled our workforce during 2020. And it's an amazing and fantastic moment, beautiful moment to join the company, to experience all this growth and be a part of the change at the end of the day. So we have a bunch of open positions, a variety of positions ranging from IT, finance. We are wanting to double basically our R&D department, R&D and innovation department with a lot of food scientists, researchers, technologists, lab technicians, a lot of different positions, project managers as well in the R&D department, with different specializations. Our products are, our innovation department is one of the most important departments within the company, because at the end of the day, we are, the main difference also with our main competitors is that we are using traditional cheese making techniques to make our products. We ferment our products, we age our products. So we are using all these techniques techniques. And again, our R&D department, it's crucial for this. So again, we are looking for very specialized people like culture and fermentation researchers, whole food ingredients researchers. So that's one of the big areas of expansion right now within the company. Again, marketing department is also growing a lot. We are currently looking for brand managers for our star product, the butter. We are looking for project managers also for marketing. We are looking for graphic designers with previous experience in packaging, sustainable packaging. We don't like plastic, and we are using it right now because of the nature of our product. So someone helping with that would be great. And yeah, a lot of different positions right now. And again, our main of our workforce is working in the. It's another way to join the company as a production associate or sanitation associate. Sanitation is also a very important part of the company. I mean, if anything, it's sanitized and clean. I mean, this is not working. So a lot going on. So yeah, I would like to give you guys some time to ask as many questions as you might have. If you have some.
We lost. Oh, there you
go. You.
So it looks like we have a couple questions in the box. Are you planning on expanding the program of helping farmers, dairy farmers, transition to plant-based producers?
Yeah, this is a great question actually, because we have we want to change the future. So this is, the farm conversion program that we have. We're working on that. We will be hiring pretty soon this position. It's not yet posted, but it's been public that we will be managing this project. So yeah, you can reach out. We have in our website, in our career site, it's one of the postings. I don't see the perfect match, but I would love to work there. So you can start your applications in there. This is probably the best way to apply, or let us review your resume if you don't have the right opening right now.
Great. We're also being asked if our positions are remote.
We are back in the office because we have expanded our office space, and we are a food company. So our production plant is open. So we truly believe that we need to support our co-workers in the plant. So we have a very, very strict COVID protocols to make sure that everybody's safe here. And yeah, we're supporting. We don't want to leave them alone in the plant. So we are, I'm in a room not wearing my mask, but as soon as I will be out of the room, I'm ready. But yeah, all of our positions are in the office based with some flexibility, of course.
Yeah. So we're getting a lot of remote questions, but also some questions about locations besides Petaluma, California. Right now, we don't have any locations outside of California. We're in Petaluma, and that's our headquarters, our production facility, but we will keep you posted. Do you have any entry-level, any entry-level positions?
We do, especially and I think this is very interesting, in the R&D department. We are looking, and we will be posting this today, actually. We will be looking from today, right after this meeting, associate food scientist. So someone just finishing the PhD or the baccalaureate degree. Yeah, totally.
Great. So I just want to remind everybody that you can go to our careers page and see all of our open positions. It's at www.miyokos.com/careers, or if you just go to the main page, you can actually just scroll down to the bottom and you'll see a careers section. So we hope to see you in the
Hey everyone, can you hear me all right? All right, excellent. Let's see, and we'll have Mari join me on stage here in just a minute. While we're waiting on her to join, I will get going just since we have a limited time. My name is Nate Salpeter. I'm one of the co-founders of Sweet Farm Foundation, along with my wife, Anna Sweet. There's Mari. Hey, Mari. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we will go about here. All right, Chrome tab. All right. Can I get a thumbs up if you can see that? All right, perfect. Excellent. So Sweet Farm is currently hiring for a marketing director role. That is a full-time role, as well as we're always looking for board members. Again, my name is Nate Salpeter. I'm one of the co-founders. With me, we have Mari Gomersall, who is one of our agriculture program coordinators. And so at a high level, Sweet Farm is a nonprofit organization located near San Francisco, and we're dedicated to creating a compassionate and sustainable world. We're doing that through 3 key areas. It's education, so that's what are the issues, why are they important? Inspiration, so you have to inspire people to take that action, and innovation. So that's really where we get into our scalable technology-based solutions. So we are evolving the sanctuary model, and we're doing that through 3 key areas. So it's farm animal rescue, veganic agriculture, and technology incubation, all of which support and amplify one another. So here they are again, just represented kind of in pictorial. We are right in Silicon Valley, so we are working with some of the most advanced food and ag tech, as well as sustainability tech companies in the world. And it's not just isolated locally, it is really globally. On that note, so at a glance, the organization, we are a 501c3. We have about 140 rescue animals. We are growing fresh produce for local families. That's through our CSA program, which Mari will be able to talk about in more detail. This past year, we've grown considerably. We went from about 4 full-time employees to up to 11 team members. So in part, that was also due to the success of our Goat to Meeting program. So I don't know if folks have heard of that program or not, but in the last, since the end of March of last year, we have completed over 8,000 virtual educational field trips. And that's with people all over the world, including scientists in the South Pole. So that's really one-on-one interaction, live on the farm with people, being able to answer questions, but also bridging that gap post-call into real-world action. So that's whether we're talking with little kids all the way up through Congress people and CEOs, really getting them to take that next action step. And then at the tail end, of course, supporting those food and ag tech startups. So really what Sweet Farm is about is creating this impact ecosystem. So we are a small, nimble team. And as part of that, one of the benefits we have is being able to pivot and evolve very quickly. Of course, our mission being creating a sustainable and compassionate and sustainable world, that is intentionally broad because that can take a lot of different forms. So Mari is going to talk a little bit about some of her background and what we're doing. I want to leave plenty of time for questions from the audience as well. So just on the map, so you can locate us a little bit easier, we are just south of Half Moon Bay, California, located right along the coast. So if you join the Sweet Farm team and you're out on the farm, it's just a 10-minute walk and you're right on one of the nicest beaches in Northern California. So Mari, do you want to take it over?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'll try to keep this quick because I'm sure there's questions. I'm Mari. I'm the ag coordinator. The picture on the left is where I was about a year ago today. I was working with the Peace Corps in Malawi as a food security educator. And then before that, I worked on small-scale farms back home in Iowa. So a lot of the day-to-day stuff I do is really kind of similar to that kind of experience. As you can see on the right, we've got some leeks growing and there's a lot of transplanting, harvesting, that kind of work. But also as coordinator, I get to work with the team in kind of creating new projects to make our field more sustainable, more regenerative. So we've got like a hugelkultur pile, which is like a raised bed, but it has logs underneath it. So they'll slowly decompose and feed the soil. And we've got new composting systems. So we're just always trying to learn from other people and talk to other people and work with our education program to help work with other farms, both big and small, to help make everyone, I don't know, everyone's far more sustainable and work toward our mission. So yeah, thanks you guys.
Excellent. Thanks, Mari. It looks like my video might be muted. I'm not sure. I'm not
I can
frozen,
hear if that helps.
but y'all can hear. So absolutely. So once again, at a high level, we are looking for a mid-level experience role on the marketing side, and on the board side, we do have a world-class board already. We are looking to add 1 to 2 seats on that front. But in terms, I saw one question come through with respect to, is this remote? So there are opportunities on that front as well. Internships, we have had internships in the past through various universities. That is certainly something we are exploring in the upcoming year as well. So Kate asked the question, where can we see your job postings? So we do post those on LinkedIn. We also post those through Indeed. So one of the best ways to follow the job postings would be to follow us on LinkedIn, and that will pop up as new opportunities jump up. Let's see, Tara, you mentioned the connection to technology. Is this similar to GoToMeeting or something else? Fantastic question, Tara. So this is actually a little bit different. So on the technology side, we are working with food, ag, and sustainability technology companies that are really aimed at reducing humans' footprint on the planet, getting alternative proteins into the ecosystem. So we actually helped with launching Shiok Meats is one of the companies that we worked with pre-formation with one of our board members, Ryan Bethencourt. Turtle Tree Labs as well. So they are based in Singapore. We also work extremely closely with them. It's really across the board. So we are talking deep technology ranging from plant-based proteins to cellular agriculture, all the way out through ag tech and ways to close the human waste stream as well. Great question. Hey, Mari, there's a question for you from Cecilia. It says, do you want to take these kinds of agriculture techniques taken across America, like back to Iowa?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that's really exciting about the range of projects we get to work on is that, like, some of the tech stuff, I don't know, coming from Iowa, I've seen the like rows and rows of corn. So it is exciting to think about how to, like, I don't know, yeah, apply the things and bring it back to the connections that I have back there. So yeah, I'd love to.
Fantastic. Teresa asked, does your inspiration include plant-based nutrition education and transitioning to? Absolutely. So in a normal year, we do have member events and all sorts of activities on the farm. That also includes keynote talks and cooking demonstrations and all sorts of activities that are always focused around plant-based living and lifestyles. So absolutely. Given COVID, we are doing that digitally through our GoToMeeting. So whether it's simple approaches and things that people can take into their own daily lives, we absolutely are promoting those kind of things. Let's see, Jessica asks, what are you looking for in board members? Any certain skills, expertise that are of interest? Great question. So we are very much interested in different types of partnerships where we can work with industry leaders, whether it's in the Bay Area or abroad. It's really about engagement at a higher level. So we understand every single person is unique, and so we don't kind of constrain it to a specific role. So it's more about if someone thinks that they may be able to put their amazing skills and talents to use for a good cause, we're absolutely open to that discussion. Great question.
All right, everybody. How was it? Okay. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Has everybody got a huge list of people to apply to? All right. So, Christie, I want to bring you up. We're going to bring Christie up on stage because we went so quick. We actually didn't get to answer a few more of the questions. So let's bring Christie up on stage. Hello, mon ami.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, sure, good.
All right. So I would love to just cover a little bit more facts that you can share about what's available at Rebellyous. Just cover a few more of the career opportunities and where folks can find out more.
Sure. Yeah. So first of all, if you want to learn more about Rebellyous Foods, we're at rebellyous.com, and it's REBELLYOUS. And on there, you can find a button that says Join the Rebellion. So check out our job opportunities there. Another thing is that while we are an engineering, a very engineering-centric company and a production-centric company, we have opportunities pretty much across the board. We're looking for a facilities manager, a cost accountant. We will be hiring future sales positions, for watch for that. And we also, if you have an engineering background, do look at the opportunities we have as an engineer, because lots of people were asking about, how they convert from the non-food industry into the food industry. Most of our engineers did not come from the food industry. They came from oil and gas or design engineering or pharmaceuticals. So there's lots of opportunities. It could come from other industries, and we need all sorts of different types of help.
All right.
Sorry, go
awesome.
ahead.
Okay, with that being said, I think we are going to go to the networking portion. Chrissy, are you going to be able to stay on to speak directly to everybody?
Sure. Happy to do.
Yeah.
There we go.
Awesome. Not going to miss it. All right. Well, we will say goodbye to Chrissy for now, and I'm going to give everybody their next instructions. So this is my favorite part of today's event. This is when you get to meet live one-on-one, and you're not just going to see my face on a screen. You're actually going to get to meet with hundreds of women that are joining from all across the world, and a few men, I think, as well. So we are going to go to live networking in just 1 second. What did you guys think? Let's see. Thumbs up. Was this your first virtual networking event? Awesome. What did you guys, I would love to hear any thoughts in the chat of what you all thought about it. It goes fast, right? Awesome. Okay. Well, now that we have combated all of the trolls, now that we have made sure that we have a legendary group of women here and a few allies too. Everyone ready to get networking? Remember, you're going to have to okay your audio and video. You will be prompted to know exactly when you're going on live, and you're just going to click right through. And if this goes as well as our last legendary networking session went, which lasted for several hours beyond what we had planned, we might just keep the networking going. So you let us know. If you're having a good time, we can keep this thing going, and you can meet with hundreds of other industry professionals. Sound good? All right. I will see you in the networking room.